Welcome to the Juggling Mind and Money podcast with Steve Rowe and Jessica Schlupp-Taylor. Steve Rowe is the founder of Lucent Financial Planning and an award-winning independent financial planner. He helps you to use your money and have a great life. Jess Schlupp-Taylor is a psychologist supporting people through change, challenges, and forks in the road of life. Together, they will help unblock the sludge in your mind, stopping you from achieving financial and psychological happiness.
Hello and welcome to Juggling Mind and Money with Steve Rowe and
Luke James.
Hello, Luke James. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. I'm almost a little bit surprised that you've had me back, but pleasantly surprised.
You've been so popular.
Is that right?
There's been demand. You've got fans.
That's my mum and dad. Thank you, mum and dad.
Yeah, only fans.
Yeah.
So this is episode 19. 19 episodes we've done. Coming up to the big 20.
It's impressive.
Episode 19. And today, Luke's here because we're going to talk about investments and an exciting new thing that we've got planned.
It is exciting, isn't it? I'm excited.
Yeah. Should we sort of give a little teaser?
Yeah. Not too much because you still want people to listen. But I guess you could just skip to the end anyway, couldn't you?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to do Investment Club.
That was very like a Sith
Yeah.
out of Star Wars. Is that what you're going for?
Well, that's what, people think investors.
Oh, okay. I get it.
People are like that, aren't they? Like evil capitalists.
Yeah, okay.
But we're not like that.
No, we're the Jedi.
We believe investment is to help people get their ideas off the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant.
Yeah. So we're going to be launching the Investment Club, but we'll talk more about that at the end of the episode. So today, what we're really doing is doing the mid-year investment review. Are you excited by that, Luke?
I'm as excited as you can be about a mid-year investment review. It's going to be good. It's been an exciting year so far. I guess you could use the word exciting, interesting, maybe scary, but it's a good year to do this on.
Yeah, but it's not that exciting, really, in some ways, how we think, because we think long term and 6 months, kind of who cares? In the rest of your life, that makes no difference, really, does it?
No, yeah, not at all, exactly.
So we're going to do a mid-year investment review, what's happened, what's not happened, and how that's going to play out, which we don't know.
We don't.
Spoiler alert. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. And anyone that says they does. I went a bit Gloucester there.
They does.
Anyone that says they do could well be lying.
Or stupid.
Or just misinformed.
Misinformed, sorry.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a bit more.
Stupid and lying, that's a bit nasty, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Misinformed.
Yeah, but no one knows what's going to happen in the future on account that it is the future.
Indeed.
And it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, but they've done loads of research, Steve.
That's it.
In essence, all research is historical.
That's it. Exactly. Like your Spurs predictions every year.
Yes.
Misinformed.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Well, that's where bias comes into play.
That's
It's a good point to bring that up. Investment bias.
Yeah.
And how our feelings affect
Absolutely.
our decisions, which we've got to stop. Okay, so, right, we're going to be talking about this. So first off then, Luke, what was the major thing at the start of the year that was big and beautiful?
I think that's got to be Donald Trump.
Oh, bless his cottons.
I've never heard anyone say that about Donald Trump. That's the first.
Well, he's a trier, isn't he?
Yeah, I get that's one word. Yeah.
You may not agree with him,
No.
and he may be not nice in many ways, but he's a trier.
Well, he kind of did exactly what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it's very obvious, wasn't it? Because he's been saying it for years.
Yeah, it wasn't really a surprise. So he said he was going to bring in massive tariffs. He was a massive believer in tariffs. He thought this was going to be a huge thing for the US. He thought it was a big mistake that they ever moved away from tariffs, and that he was going to bring them in when he got into power. And that's exactly what he did.
So tariffs, that's like olden days economics, really, isn't it? Like back to the Roaring '20s or
Yeah,
maybe before.
Yeah, Great Depression era, that kind of time.
Yeah. So where tariffs, that's where any imports are charged extra tax.
Yeah.
But essentially, that just goes on the cost to the consumer.
Yeah, exactly that. It just gets passed on, doesn't it?
Yeah, because companies aren't going to import if they're not making money. So it's not all going to come out their profits. Might at first.
Yeah.
But afterwards.
That's it. I mean, there's definitely a place for tariffs in the world economy. Like if you're trying to boost your own production of something, maybe like a specific area that you're trying to protect in your country. Like India does it, particularly with like cars. They want to protect their own motor industry, so they tariff other ones so that they can't compete as easily. Things like that.
Well, that hasn't been the theory for the last 30 odd years, has it? 40, 50, however long. Because free trade must be, I would assume, been what's brought such massive leaps in living standards around the world. Because that means the best ideas are travelling around the world and everything's getting more efficient.
Yeah.
And ergo, companies are making bigger profits and therefore able to pay more tax, other taxes like corporation tax.
Yeah.
And things. So this has had a big effect, hasn't it? And he had his Trump's game show board out. You enjoyed that, didn't you?
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
Luke's a bit younger, everybody. He's in his 30s, so he hasn't experienced 1980s game shows.
No, yeah, my game show knowledge is lacking.
Yeah, and so you won't know about Jim Bowen's bullseye and things like that, perhaps.
Only through you. Is that the one? Here's what you could have won.
Here's what you could have won.
There you go.
Great smashing super. Absolutely brilliant. So that's what Trump was doing, wasn't he, on the White House lawn? Mm-hmm. He had his board up.
Yeah.
Going, here's what you could have won, China.
Yeah.
But obviously he wasn't from wherever Jim Bowen was from.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
It would have been a lot more funny.
If that's...
Yeah, so I'm going to do it all in Jim Bowen now. Here's what you could have won, China. You've got 50 to 70% tariffs. But the UK, because we're such great friends.
Very good.
We've got 10%.
Mm.
I think this is a common misconception, actually. And we've got a lot of clients with Land Rover. Talking with them, they've been mentioning how, 10% seems good. And it is good. But it's not as good as it was at 0.
Yeah.
But it's better than everybody else. So comparison-wise, that's good. But it's not just 10% once if it's a car, for example, because there's all the bits that are flying around the world in between.
That's it.
That are having 10% put on as well. So it actually turns out to be a bit more.
Yeah, exactly that. It's like you were saying before, we've become much more globalised, much more free trade. And that means everyone's specialising more. So instead of having to do everything to build a car, you only have to do a specific part of getting that car there, which means that there's lots of imports and exports that go into making that car.
Yeah, that's right. So tariffs, everyone got scared and jittery about that. That's end of March, start of April, wasn't it? And the reason they were getting scared and jittery was because in stock markets, as stock markets went down at a fair whack, was because stock market prices on a day-to-day basis are essentially a prediction of future profits in the company. In the long term, all that matters is the actual profits of the companies, and that determines the stock market price of shares. So everyone thought, all these tariffs are going to be implemented, and some have been. But then he put a stop on them. He gave a, go and do your impression.
You put me on the spot. We're going to pause all the tariffs. We're going to pause the tariffs.
That's so beautiful.
They're beautiful tariffs. Joe Biden can do these bad tariffs.
Joe Biden would never do these tariffs.
That was Michael Jackson.
That was, wasn't it? I can't do American accents very well. Yeah, so... And then on Wall Street, the gossip amongst the traders is that, what's that phrase? I've forgotten it. Oh, my mind's gone back now. Where Trump always pulls out sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
That he'll never put them in permanently.
Yeah, I think that's the running thought behind there, but nobody wants to say that to him because then that might make him actually go through with it.
So the real big news is how they were pulled, how he pulled out at the end. That has meant stock markets have risen now. We're talking in July 2025, back to where they were in early January.
Mm-hmm.
Is the real reason for this is the bond markets.
Mm-hmm.
So bonds are loans to governments or companies.
Yep.
And every government pretty much around the world, like we owe loads of money. America owns trillions of dollars
Mm-hmm.
to other countries. And China is a big holder of these bonds.
We're talking about US government bonds here.
US government bonds, yeah. China's a big holder of them. And it may be because because China did say to all the companies that owned them, sell them, because being a sort of communist state, they've got that power.
Yeah.
And then all these companies dumped these bonds, and then that really forced up the cost of borrowing for America,
Mm-hmm.
far eclipsing the cost of the income they would get from any tariffs.
Yep.
So, do you remember that film Munich?
I've not seen that.
Oh, you've not seen anything.
Yeah, I know.
So Munich is about the Olympics in Munich in the early 70s, and then James Bond's in it.
Okay.
And in it, it's about the Israelis, Mossad.
Yeah, the hostage.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Going after the people that shot their athletes and stuff.
Right.
And in it, they get information of where they are from a French sort of gangster called Papa.
Okay.
And Papa, in the end, he's a really homely man, right? He's always eating in the garden, because that's what French people do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? And always got family around him, really nice. And he betrays them. And they said, "Why do you do it?" And he turned and went, "Everybody has a Papa." So everyone, even if you're the most powerful man in the world, you've still got someone pulling your strings, haven't you?
Yeah.
And that may have been the bond market reacting, don't you think?
Yeah, just 2 points on that. What a wild connection. What a wild journey that was to go on in the connection. And the other thing is, for the listeners out there, it's before 8:30 in the morning that we're filming this currently, and it's the second time we've talked about hostage situations so far this morning.
Yeah, off air.
Yeah, I know, but again, that's quite wild.
And that was related to Cockney rhyming slang.
Yeah, Terry Waite. Yeah, well, that's the point, isn't it? They did Trump, quote unquote, bottle it because of what was happening in the bond market and the amount of how much of an impact that would have. It's massive, isn't it? If you're borrowing that amount of money, and anyone will know this in their own personal lives, especially if you've got bigger mortgages recently, increases in interest rates, increasing how much it costs to borrow, has a huge impact, doesn't it?
It does. So they're still rumbling on these tariffs, and just this week he was saying he's going to start sending out letters.
Yeah.
Because there's 200 countries they have to negotiate with. Yeah. And that'll be more efficient. Everyone wants to make their process more efficient, don't they? Yeah, they do. Right. So another powerful man, Elon Musk. So he was heavily involved in getting Donald Trump elected. Now he's setting up his own party, isn't he? Or a third American party. Wonder how that will go. That'll please Trumpy boy.
Probably not great, I'd imagine.
Trump will be going, "That's not great, smashing super."
That's not good.
He'll turn to Melania. Oh, no. Look what we could have won if we kept Elon on board.
They had quite a spat, didn't they?
Yeah. So again, everyone has a papa. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. He can still get kicked out of government. No one can do what they want to do. I think this is really important. We all rely on each other, no matter how good or great we think, or good or great smashing super we think we are.
Yeah.
So he might be setting up a new party that could cause ructions, because that would probably split the Republican vote.
Yep.
in the future. So who knows what's going to happen in America? It's very wild. Who knows what's going to happen anywhere in the future?
Nobody.
No one.
Yeah, nobody.
Right. So Luke, tell us what's been going on give us a backdrop of the global economic situation.
Oh, what a big question. So there's obviously Trump in the US. That's kind of kicking us off the year. In more recent times, there's obviously what's been happening in Iran, with Iran and Israel. Nuclear.
And the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, exactly that.
And Ukraine.
That's still ongoing. So lots of conflicts that happen around the world. The Russia-Ukraine situation, when that initially happened, did have an impact on global stock markets. That's essentially, a lot of that is because it became much more expensive to do business because of oil prices and things like that. And although we did see some drops, it was more just of a stagnation over a period of time. Yeah. We've not seen that as much with the Iran-Israel conflict so far. We've not seen kind of a major drop because of that. Essentially, that might just be because of what we were talking about earlier, that this is all future priced. This had already been factored in, and barring a major escalation between the two, we might see that not impact stock markets as much. However, anything that impacts oil or transporting goods, that could have a major impact.
Yeah, because we're all interconnected, aren't we now? That global supply chain.
Exactly.
Which is one of the big issues in 2022, which coincided with the Ukraine issue that caused such problems in stock markets. So why can't we get on, Luke?
Oh, well.
Not me and you.
We do get on, don't we?
Sometimes.
I don't know if I've got an answer to that question, Steve. It's quite a complicated question. Why don't Iran and Israel get on?
Well,
or you're talking about just people in general?
People in general.
Well, it's conflicting interests, isn't it? That's the big issue.
Very sad, really, I think.
I completely agree.
However, wars and that are quite good for stock markets generally and economies, because although things slow down, then there's lots of rebuilding and stuff to do. Lots of investment in bombs.
Well,
it's a waste of time, really, but
yeah,
that's what happens.
Well, we've seen massive increases in defence spending across the world.
Yeah,
really, US in their new big beautiful bill, that's mentioned heavily throughout the EU because they're less trying to become less reliant on the US, increased defence spending, things like that.
So government spending on defence is essentially stimulation of the economy, isn't it, really? Because it's extra money going into things that aren't necessarily needed.
Yeah.
Perhaps just based on fear. So if you look back the last 10 years, trying to get everyone in NATO to spend 2% of their GDP, and no one would, pretty much. And now they're talking about 5%.
Yeah.
Which is massive.
Yeah.
A massive difference. And that is the end of what was known as the peace dividend. You know, you can spend your money on useful things that help people rather than some shiny missiles that are going to end or ruin people's lives. Great idea. Right, this is depressing me now.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
We're going down. Me too.
You know, people, wake up. Let's strive for a better world. And a better world doesn't mean stopping other people doing things, I would say, unless they're bad, obviously. But what is bad? This is a wormhole. We're not doing it.
Yeah. We're going far too deep. Let's go back to economics.
So is it economics or economics? That's a big wormhole as well.
Yeah, I would say economics.
Yeah. Well,
is it economics?
What is British?
I don't know, Steve.
I don't even know which is the right way.
To ask for another coffee.
All these philosophical discussions we could have. Instead, we're going to talk about dear old Blighty and what's going on here. So quite a major thing in pension world has happened recently, where the government has talked with all the massive pension providers about how they invest money in default funds. So Luke, tell us what a default fund is in a pension and what the government want them to do and the agreement they've reached.
No problem. So default fund, essentially, when you're a member of a pension scheme, you've got to be, your investments, your money's got to be put somewhere. The vast majority of people across the board do not pick their own investments. Most people never change it. They just leave it as is. So if you kind of think that most people aren't changing it and self-picking or don't have an advisor that's picking it for them, then most people are going to end up in default funds, and that ends up being a massive amount of money. So I think it's about, what, 600 billion pounds in assets, roughly, a couple of years ago. So we're talking about massive amounts of money here, and that's essentially what it is. The pension provider has a default fund that everyone goes into.
So if you don't make a pick yourself, you're put in the default fund because you've got to put your money somewhere.
Exactly.
And you're automatically put in these pensions anyway when you work for someone. That's a legal requirement. And then the pension company decides how that's going to be invested.
Exactly right.
So tell us about private equity and what it is.
So if you kind of think private equity, I guess the clue's in the name. These are private enterprises, private businesses that invest people's money into what they think is going to make the most money. Now, whereas a public company or public entity, in it again, I keep trying to describe it with the word. Is
that's not a good explanation.
No, it's not great.
Well, it's private, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's essentially what my explanation was just then. So you might think of a public company, they have to release lots of information about how that money's invested, what they're doing with it. You know, there's a lot more information that's sent out to the public because that's essentially what it is. Whereas on the private basis, they don't have to release as much information. They're making those decisions of how the money's invested themselves.
So a public traded company, anyone can go and buy shares in it.
Yeah.
If they got the money.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, shares can cost pence. Or a few quid. And you can buy as many as you can get your hands on, really.
Yeah.
Okay. And no one can say, no, you can't buy it.
Yeah.
Private equity is you know, like our company, we own it, right? So no one can come and buy shares in our company unless we let them.
Yep.
Right. So these are companies set up, and then therefore, as you said, there's less information available about them. In a public stock market, they're priced every day the stock market's open.
Yep.
Through the number of buyers and sellers of that share, and that determines what it's worth. Private equity, they might only be valued once or twice a year.
Yeah.
And that's not a true valuation, really. It's a guess based on their accounts because no one's actually buying it.
Yep.
And a valuation is based on what a willing seller would accept, and what a willing buyer would buy it for. All right, so this is good for the government, isn't it? Because they want to. The UK isn't seen as a great place to invest, really, because of our lack of our low productivity levels. Probably because everyone's messing about doing podcasts and social media, you know, early morning, before work, incidentally, everybody.
Yeah.
Before official work hours.
Yeah. I think this is super productive. Yeah, I could be eating a bacon sandwich right now.
I had one this morning. I over-crisped it, actually.
I like it crispy.
I'm thinking of bacon now.
Sorry, Steve. Well, just to take over on that point then. This is a massive source of untapped money. That's how the government see it. You know, it's a huge amount of money. It's owned by UK investors, but essentially it's been funneled outside of the UK. People investing more in overseas assets. About 70% of that money goes into overseas equities as opposed to UK ones.
So they're hoping, aren't they, that about 25 billion will be put into UK infrastructure and innovation.
That's it. So hopefully that creates innovation within those businesses, makes them more productive, and therefore makes them more profitable, and boosts jobs and therefore the economy. That's the aim.
So that's potentially great for the country. I'm not too sure about how this money where it will be decided to be invested by the pension company.
Yeah.
Will it be funneled to the places the government hopes? There might be some guidelines around that, maybe. But is it great for you as an individual and your pension? Because after all, this is what's going to fund the rest of your life.
I agree. So, I mean, it's got the potential to be a really good thing for the country. The country hasn't got enough money, right? It needs to get this money, this investment from somewhere. This seems like a good enough place to get it from. People can still switch out if they didn't want to, right? If they didn't want these default funds. Is it good for people personally? Well, that's going to depend on how these investments perform, right? Now, if all those things happen that we just spoke about, they innovate and become more profitable, more productive, then potentially that could be a good thing, because then what would happen is that because they become more profitable and the prices would go up further, they'd be making more money and people would be more likely to invest in it. It could potentially snowball. However, that isn't what's happened in the past. UK equities haven't outperformed, so UK companies haven't outperformed the global stock market. So potentially this could be a negative. And this could actually lose people money, have a real impact on people's retirement potentially.
Right. So to conclude on private equity then,
Yep.
In pension funds, you need to make a decision on this, right? It's not compulsory. It's only if you don't do anything and you're in the default investment funds in your pension that this money will be allocated to it. The downsides of it are they're opaque. You don't really know what's going on. They have earned less money than the great companies of the world on public stock markets in the past. Obviously, we don't know the future, and you're not choosing it. So if you're a bit lazy and you don't want to choose your investments, that's okay. And it's not lazy, it's just really boring. So why would you bother? But it is your future. Get a financial planner like you, Luke James, Chartered Financial Planner, Lucent Financial Planning, or me, or excuse me, or Keeley, or Ellie, or any other company that are chartered financial planners. But don't let them make decisions for you because it is your future. You decide. It could potentially be good for the country, but who knows what's going to happen there. So, right, in a moment, we're going to go and talk about Investment Club and what we're doing, but we're just going to listen to our little interlude about the importance for podcasts of reviews. And we need reviews, right? And we're going to use this, Luke, because it's your second show, as a proxy of your popularity.
Yep.
So if you get a lot of reviews, we'll think, yeah, we can keep you.
Okay. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Do you think anyone will write you a review?
Absolutely not. I think maybe my mama.
Oh, she won't know how to write a review.
She might do
on Spotify.
if I'm standing over her shoulder, telling her.
My mum would go, "Oh, don't bloody know. How do you do that? I don't want to listen to you. It's bad enough when you're round here."
Her and my dad would probably leave very good reviews if it is tied to me keeping my job, because their worst idea of hell is me moving back home. So it could be great.
They did say, "Look, we've tried to get him adopted. No one like him. Steve, please.
No
Please look after him."
Yeah.
He's a pleasure to look after, everybody. Right. So we're going to go to our review skit now.
Steve and Jess would be really grateful if you'd leave them a review on wherever you listen to your podcasts. If they run a star system, please give Juggling Mind and Money more stars than the Milky Way.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope that's all got you giving 5-star reviews on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And also a nice little few words about us and Luke and how brilliant or not he is.
You said my name with real disdain there.
Luke. Well, yeah, it's one of those names, isn't it? Like lukewarm.
Yeah.
Right, where are we? Anyway, Investment Club, that's what we're launching. So tell us about this, Luke. Who's it for? Who should come? Who should not come? Yeah. Everyone's invited, but you might not like it. And that's okay, because it's for a specific subgenre of people.
Yeah. Well, we're really excited about this, aren't we, Steve? It's an investment club thing.
Because we love it.
We do. That's what gets us up out of bed in the morning. It's not really, is it?
It's bacon.
It helps people get to that. So what we're doing is here at Lucent, we've got different types of clients, and that's absolutely okay. There's some people that couldn't think of anything worse than coming to an investment club meeting.
Oh, no.
They don't want to talk about investments. They're happy for us to look after it for them. And they don't want to have to think about it or worry about it too much, just enjoy getting on with their lives without that extra burden.
They don't care about the efficient market hypothesis,
No.
or is diversification good, or is it diversification? They don't care about these arguments and the evidence behind them.
No, they couldn't give two hoots.
No.
And they won't be listening to this podcast either, probably.
Well, they might be, because, it's juggling mind and money, isn't it?
That's true. But they might
be
see...
expecting Jess.
Yeah.
And got Luke.
Well, they won't have made it to this point then. So this is for people that are super interested. So there's another group of our clients that are really interested in investments, how they work, the same way that we are. They want to find out more about what's happening, more about how we're investing their money and why. So everything we're doing, there's a reason behind it and a reason we're not doing something else. And so what we found is that when we hold like our regular investment seminar, there's a certain...
Look up flight risk on our website, ladies and gentlemen, and see about that. So that is not just for the investment geek, because we juiced it up, didn't we?
Lucent Amdram.
Oh, yeah. Lucent Financial Planning Amdram Club made it into an immersive experience. That is on the website now. You'll be able to see what we're talking about.
That's it.
And why you should be interested.
So we try and place those events so that everyone can get something out of it. The people that aren't as interested but want to know a bit more, and the people that are super interested still come away from those things with a bit more. This investment club is for those people that are super interested. They want to find out, get into a bit of the nitty gritty of investments. We love doing it because we've done thousands of hours of reading, watching, going to seminars. So when we get the slight chance to talk about investments, we jump at it.
Yeah, because that's all we've got, really, isn't it?
Speak for yourself.
Well, last night we went to that networking event.
Yeah.
Couldn't be bothered to network.
No, we're not.
And the three of us just sat around talking about investments, didn't we?
Yeah.
Not gossip.
No, definitely not gossip.
No.
Yeah.
Because as Jamie, who works here, would say, that would be unproductive.
That is unproductive. So we do like to talk about this stuff. We've got an interest in it, but most people don't want to talk about it. You're hardly the most important person at a party, are you?
No, but there's always fellas, usually fellas, businessmen, talking about investments.
Yeah.
In the corner.
Normally talking a load of rubbish.
Yeah. So we're going to arm you at these sessions with the real rubbish.
Yeah, absolutely.
With stats and proofs, so-called proofs, because they're all in the past and no one knows the future.
Yeah.
But what we believe based on that evidence, and how, and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's a bit like a discussion club, really, because when you're arguing about the future, everyone's wrong.
Yep.
So all opinions are valid. So we just want to get to the bottom of them.
Absolutely. And I think that's the key thing in this. It's not going to, we're going to get some really cool people in. So some outside speakers, listen to what they've got to say. Experts in different fields, people with maybe some opposing ideas, thinking about all of these things through. But we want this to be a real discussion. We want to talk about these things, and it not just be it's not going to be like a presentation. It's going to be incredibly interactive.
Kind of like a book review club, really.
Yeah.
Where, we might say, have a look at this for next time. See what you think.
Yeah, exactly. Come back, see, talk about what we've looked at, talk about anything else we've found out about, anything else anyone else has found out about. And then over time, we can see what's actually gone on to happen. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, good. And we'll discuss current affairs.
Yeah.
Like we have done today, really.
Absolutely.
That'll be really good. When's the first one, did you say?
It's end of September. So we'll get a proper date in the diary soon.
Yeah.
So look out for that.
Because everyone's on holiday in August, aren't they?
Yeah. So we'll
Start
start it.
anything.
Start it fresh.
We're not on holiday. Other people are on holiday.
Yeah. We want to start it in September. Hopefully everyone's back then and we can start with a bang.
Brilliant. So I'm super excited about that. Now we will go to Sockology.
And now for Sockology, where Jess and Steve review types of sock and how your socks affect your mood.
Right, Sockology. So Sockology has obviously been very popular. And we were running out of socks, but not anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no. Right? Because we're starting to get lots of pictures in now of people's own socks. We did one in the last episode where it was Grumpy Socks, Bar Humbug, which was good. And since then, so we run what we call FAT Club, Financial Advisor Training Club, for some people in the office. And we had a special guest, well, not a special guest, but an older gentleman who's getting into financial advising.
He's not that old.
Well, he is. He's my age.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but he's not like all the people in the office that are
Yeah.
that want to be financial planners.
Yeah, gotcha.
Well, he does want to be one, but he's starting off in his 40s as opposed to in his 20s, right? So he bought us a load of socks. So I'm going to show you them. He obviously listens to the podcast, so thanks very much, Steve. Your contributions were really good on Wednesday. Thank you. As well as the socks. So hang on, I've got to get my leg over. So I've got the lilac triceratops on today. Right? Dinosaur base socks. Thank you very much, Steve. He's given us 8 pairs. Isn't that nice?
It's nice. You've got some lovely calves, Steve. I can't get that.
Sorry,
I wasn't even looking at the socks.
It's 30 degrees, ladies and gentlemen. I've got my lilac socks on with a triceratops, which means 3 horns. How do they make me feel? They make me feel horny.
I don't know if you're waiting for me to say it, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah. So I love them. They're very high, actually. They're going right up my leg, which is unusual because I've got big feet.
Yeah, yeah.
Normally, everything's converted into an ankle sock.
I hadn't thought about that.
So Frank Steve's obviously put the effort in to buy us decent socks.
That's it.
And he bought us biscuits. He really overdid it, really.
Yeah, and then you call him an old gentleman.
I know, but I'm older than him.
Yeah, I know.
So I can do that.
Okay.
You know, I'm 5 years older than him. 5.5. Right, so let's wrap up now. Everybody go out and get decent socks. Send them in to us if you want them featured on my, as Luke says, model like legs.
And if you see us out and about, do feel free to run up to us and show us your socks.
That would be brilliant.
Honestly, if that ever happens, I'd be so happy.
We know we made it then.
Yeah, that's big. That's big time.
Yeah. Yeah, so today we've looked at what's happened in the first half of the year in investments. So let's tell you some real truths. No one knows what's going to happen in the future. Your investments are not determined, your lifestyle, is not determined by how your investments perform over 6 months. You should be worrying about the rest of your life. So if you're approaching 60 and thinking of retiring, what happens this year or next year does not matter, because you've probably got 30 or 40 years left. Okay, so it's the long-term performance that's important. If you haven't got that time, this is an objection, because you're going to pop your clogs or something, then it doesn't matter as much, because you won't need as much money. And anyone you bequeath the remainder of your estate to doesn't have to cash in those investments when they get it. They can wait until it comes back. And they probably should do, rather than just blowing it. Okay, so really important. The fundamentals are, when things go down a lot of people sell. If you keep that, it can come back in the end. It always has done in the past if you're in a fully diversified investment. On average, it takes 3 years to come back, the longest ever what is it, 6 years or something?
It's just under, yeah.
Is 6 years. So, that is a short period in a lifetime. If you want the higher returns that shares give to you, you need to be patient and not greedy. Okay. So when it goes down, you don't have to be happy about it, but look out the window, chase a butterfly, go for a pint, meet your friends, enjoy yourself. Those are the fundamental truths. You can't take it with you. All right. And that's what you should be worried about. What you're going to do with your life, not what you're going to do with your money. Okay. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for listening. Please ignore the news about stock markets. It'll only make you feel worse and maybe push you into making a bad decision. If you feel you're going to make a decision and you're a client of ours, we'll give you a cuddle, won't we?
Yeah, we will.
We'll go, it's all right. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll show you some stats, but that doesn't really listen to it. It's all about the cuddle.
Yeah.
If you're not really into cuddling, that's okay. Some people aren't. We can arm wrestle.
A pat.
A pat?
Like a pat on the back. Or
Oh yeah.
It's going to be all right.
Hearty pat on the back.
Yeah.
If you still want to do it, we can have a full-blown fight, can't we, really?
I wondered what you were going to say then.
Yeah, because we want to help you. We don't want to help you mess it up.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, so if you need someone to talk to about this stuff, we're on your side. We want to stop you making a mistake. And those mistakes you can't get back from. So the people that did sell out back in April, they're going to be permanently behind now for forever. And they're never going to make that up. If they try to make it up, they could do, but statistically, it's unlikely to work out in their favour.
Yeah, that's it. And when you look back in hindsight, it's incredibly easy to go, well, sort of Trump could have sold there and then this would have happened, so I'd have bought back in there. It does not work like that at all, because even now, these things are still ongoing. You wouldn't be feeling like, oh, everything's all right now. Now's the time to buy back in. It doesn't work like that. It only works like that in hindsight.
Yeah, when you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And what do we know about the future?
Nothing.
Exactly. No one knows.
Exactly.
Do you know what I know about my future? I'm going to try and have as good time as possible. What about you?
Yeah, me too.
That's it.
That's a nice message.
That is. So it's Friday for us. It'll be Thursday for you. Maybe. Depends when you listen to it.
Yeah.
Go out, enjoy the weekend, have a great time. Spend time with your family and friends. Do the things you love. Do less of the things you hate. Like DIY for me. Ugh. Do less of that stuff and enjoy yourself. I'll see you later next time. All those things in the future, if it comes around. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.